Hey, it's me, Chantel. I am here to talk to you about creating a zero waste home for Earth Day. So Earth Day is coming up this weekend, Saturday, April 22nd. So we are going to talk about going plastic free and some pro tips for reducing waste. So it's a really nice time of year to take a look at our lifestyles and look at the different ways we can improve our environmental impact. And the best place to start with this is at home. So there are so many easy ways that you can reduce waste, that you can reduce the need for plastics and reduce your carbon footprint right in your own home. And if we all did that, we would be in pretty good shape. So another great thing that I like about Earth Day is it's in the spring. It lines up nicely with spring cleaning. So before I share my tips on cultivating a zero waste home, I want to talk to you about why you should be using natural cleaning products and which ones work the best. So first, I want to talk about what goes into your typical cleaning product, because we as consumers need to think about what we are washing down the drain and what we are spraying into the air. So consider your typical all-purpose spray, maybe some kind of laundry detergent or other cleaning product that you may pick up in the cleaning aisle of your local grocery store. Most conventional cleaning and household products contain chemical surfactants, so those are the things that clean and lather and break down grime and things like that. Those chemical surfactants are very often contaminated with known cancer-causing chemicals like 1,4-dioxane and ethylene oxide. And I want to point out that those chemicals don't show up on an ingredient label. You're never going to read the ingredients and see 1,4-dioxane or ethylene oxide on there. They're actually contaminants that come with other ingredients like sodium lauryl sulfate and a whole bunch more. So they're actually byproducts that occur during the manufacture of those chemicals, not something that's intentionally added into the formula. So many typical cleaning and household products also contain harmful preservatives, so things like triclosan, formaldehyde, parabens, and formaldehyde releasers, all of which are known or potential carcinogens and allergens. They contain synthetic fragrances as well, synthetic colors that are also allergens. There's often non-biodegradable chemicals and preservatives, petroleum-derived compounds, and a lot of other hard-to-pronounce chemicals that are allergens or irritants. And you might think that you don't need to be concerned about allergens because you don't have allergies, but the reason it is a concern is that prolonged exposure to allergens can lead to the development of allergies later in life. Fragrance is a really good example for that. A lot of people tend to develop that allergy much later in life, and it could be due to overexposure to synthetic fragrances. It's also very possible that you do in fact experience reactions from these allergens. You're just simply unaware of it because it's things that happen pretty regularly. So things like brain fog, inflammation, and headaches can all come from exposure to allergens. So conventional cleaning products also often contain phosphates, which are added in to reduce soap scum and improve the cleaning power of detergents. Phosphates are bad because they are not biodegradable, so they accumulate in natural water sources. So this is why people who are on septic systems are told to use phosphate-free detergents, because it can bioaccumulate in the groundwater in nearby lakes and streams or wherever your groundwater flows to. But all of us should be concerned about this. Just because you may not be on a septic system doesn't mean that your wastewater doesn't end up in a body of water. Of course it does. It just might not be in your own backyard. So there's also a connection between phosphates and the accumulation and excessive algae blooms that deplete aquatic oxygen and really negatively affect aquatic ecosystems like lakes and ponds and rivers and oceans. So something we should all be thinking about. So a natural cleaning product is typically from a vegetable source. So the ones I'm going to talk about today are Attitude, because they're my favorite. So they are all plant-based. They use a type of sugar ferment. Sometimes it comes from coconut to make the lather, the part that actually does the cleaning, and it's completely biodegradable within days, and it's non-toxic to marine life. So a really great alternative to chemical surfactants. Natural cleaning products like the ones from Attitude also contain essential oils or components from essential oils that have their own cleaning properties. For example, components of citrus essential oils like lemon and orange are used to break down grease, so they're really useful in the kitchen. They're really useful in all-purpose cleaners. And citrus oils are also really useful against lime scale, or that buildup that can accumulate in showers and sinks and toilets. So it's also really useful in bathroom cleaners as well. Thyme oil is another essential oil or extract of an essential oil that's really useful in natural cleaning products. It's a natural disinfectant, so it can kill 99.99% of household germs, including influenza virus, H1N1, rhinovirus, which is your typical common cold virus, even salmonella and E. coli. So that is a great ingredient to look for in a natural disinfectant like the one from Attitude. If you're a person who likes disinfecting products, Attitude's disinfecting line is great. There's something for every surface of your home. So there's an all-purpose spray, a floor cleaner, a kitchen cleaner, and a bathroom cleaner that all contain that thyme oil extract. They also have wipes, which are biodegradable wipes, which is great, which are excellent for quick cleaning, or if you're on the go, like in your car or whatever. The best quality, the most important quality of a natural cleaning product or a natural laundry product is that it's biodegradable. So what I love about Attitudes is that they actually work. I've used tons of different brands over the last 2 decades, and I can confidently tell you that many of them simply lack cleaning power. Attitude's got a whole complete line of household and personal products that match or even outperform conventional ones that are full of synthetic ingredients and chemicals. Attitude's also Canadian. They're from Montreal, so I love that. And they are really leading the industry in waste reduction and plastic reduction, which is bringing me to the main topic of this video, which is how to cultivate a zero waste home. So the most effective thing that we can do as individuals is to reduce our plastic use as much as possible. So even if you are a dedicated recycler, much of what we recycle still ends up in the landfill, unfortunately. That's the hard truth. If you live in a community like mine where you sort your own recycling, putting one wrong item like a glass bottle in the plastic bin can mean that that whole bin or container ends up in landfill, because most waste facilities don't have the time or the manpower to sort it for you. Add to that the fact that plastic can really only be recycled a couple of times before it's just not viable anymore. So we know that while recycling is important, it's not the answer to reducing waste and plastic pollution. It's far better to just choose products that don't have unnecessary plastic in the first place. For example, you could switch all of your personal care items to plastic-free options. So Attitude's Leaves bars, like these ones here, they've got you covered for, this is a shampoo here, shampoo and conditioner, there's body lotion, there's deodorant, sunscreen, lip balm, bar soaps, really everything that are all in plastic-free biodegradable packaging. So not only are they zero waste, they're biodegradable, they're waterless, and they're super cost conscious. So for example, this one little shampoo bar here is equal to 2 or 3 regular sized bottles of shampoo. So that's a lot of plastic that gets avoided in the first place just with one little change from liquid to bar. Plus you're saving about 60% of the cost as well, because it lasts so much longer. So one of these might run you for $13 to $15, which is probably the price of your typical shampoo, but it's going to last 3 times longer. Their Oceanly line, which I've been talking about a lot lately, this is also plastic-free, waterless, biodegradable, and long-lasting. So there's all your facial care needs covered. So if you picture all of the bottles that are in your bathroom right now, you'll have shampoo, conditioner, body lotion, hand lotion, body wash, face cream, serum, eye cream, cleanser, deodorant. That's 10 or more plastic containers just right there that could be avoided, and you're just one person. So imagine if everybody did that. Attitude also just released a new line of refillable aluminum bottle products. This is it here. They're really beautiful. So this is an really beautiful aluminum bottle. There's a personal care line of hair products. There's body wash, shower gels, and hand soaps. And there's also household items like laundry detergent and dish soap, all in these great bottles. They're made to last. They're made from aluminum, which is endlessly recyclable. So the day that you do choose to let go of the bottle and not refill it anymore, you can recycle it. You can refill these by purchasing their 2-liter refill boxes. So all of the products that come in the aluminum line have a corresponding refill box. I've got my hand soap refill box here. So this is a 4-liter box. These actually come in 2-liter refills, but I just want to show you what it looks like. This is my hand soap refill that I keep at home. It's basically just like a box of wine. There's a bladder in there with a little spout, and you can refill your products. So I like the hand soap ones a lot because I tend to go through those ones a little bit faster, so I'm refilling all the time, and it really doesn't take up much space at all. So it's fantastic. So some other tips for cultivating a zero waste home. Switch out your garbage bags for biodegradable ones like the ones from BioBag. Biodegradable garbage bags are made from a material called Matter By that totally breaks down. So they actually can break down within about 90 days in the right conditions. So it's one less piece of plastic ending up in the landfill. Also, a lot of people have been relying on grocery bags for garbage bags, but since late December last year, the manufacture and import for sale in Canada of checkout bags and other single-use plastics are prohibited. So our access to grocery bags is phasing out, and we'll need to be purchasing garbage bags. So if you're not already doing so, definitely consider a biodegradable option and keep that plastic out of the landfill. Another thing you can do that will drastically reduce the amount of waste in your home is to compost. So whether you are doing it at home with your own system or you're using a municipal or a community composting system, composting food waste massively reduces waste. Massively reduces waste. Biodegrading food matter releases emissions into the air, but by composting it into usable fertilizer and soil helps to put that carbon back into the soil to offset any emissions from that food. Plus, it helps us to have healthier soil and thus healthier food and healthier environments. A lot of municipal compost is used in public gardens and things like that, so it's really enriching our community to do that. BioBag also makes great compost bags to help keep your composting process clean without compromising the end product. So we always need to be sure, no matter where we're composting, whether it's municipal or personal, that we're not putting any plastic in there. But the BioBags will break down within 90 days, so they're ideal for throwing in your compost at home or putting in your municipal composting or your community garden composting if that's what you do. Another thing you can do that makes a huge difference is to bring your own produce bags to the grocery store. You can reuse old ones or purchase washable cloth ones that you can use for years. If you have a hard time remembering to bring them, have a few sets of them and get in the habit of keeping the ones that aren't being used in your car or by your door in your purse or backpack. Same goes for reusable shopping bags. Keeping them in your vehicle instead of under the sink or wherever will make you much more likely to actually remember to bring them. And getting the small ones that bunch up into a little holder or a bag is even better because you're more likely to keep that on your person. Obvious one, but avoid buying things that are individually wrapped when they don't need to be, especially food. Often lots of fruits and vegetables are wrapped when they really don't need to be at all. Buying in bulk is a great thing that you can do. You can save yourself a lot of time and money by shopping strategically for larger quantities of things that you use more often. For me, that's like soaps and detergents and cleaning products. You can also often order large bags of essentials like flour or rice or quinoa or whatever you use a lot of. You could even consider splitting those between yourself and maybe another family or a friend if you can't store large quantities of food in your home. But you'll save money, you save trips to the grocery store. It's kind of a no-brainer. Another one, an easy one, is to use cloth napkins instead of paper ones or paper towels in your home. It's really easy to just, you know, buy some pretty ones, keep washing them, keep using them, and save that extra paper use that's not necessary. Using reusable food wraps and bags like the beeswax ones that are really common now, or the silicone ones, that makes a huge difference too. Ditch the coffee pods, for heaven's sake, and go for a French press, a pour over, maybe an espresso machine, or use a reusable coffee filter for a typical drip machine. Even the biodegradable pods are pollution unless you're composting them yourself. So if they end up in landfill, it would still take ages for them to break down because specific microbes need to be present to break down bioplastics. And unfortunately, bioplastics are not easily recyclable unless you have a specific facility in your community that can recycle bioplastics. So they don't break down and get reused in the same way as typical plastics. Another easy one is to do less laundry. Who doesn't like that? So often brushing out and airing out your clothes is enough to freshen them up if they aren't soiled. You can also do cold water loads to save energy and hang dry when you can. And when you can't, put the temperature on low and use those wool dryer balls. They can really reduce the drying time, and they also take a little static away. Another great laundry tip is to add a half a cup of cleaning vinegar to your wash load instead of using dryer sheets in the dryer. Those tend to be full of artificial fragrances, and they're a single-use item that ends up in the trash. Often they're made with plastic fibers, so they won't break down quickly. Cleaning vinegar is a natural deodorizer and fabric softener, and it helps to reduce static as well. And it keeps the drum of your washing machine nice and clean too. Use a stainless steel water bottle or reusable water bottle. That's a pretty obvious one as well. If you don't have good water at home, you should buy the big jugs and get a dispenser. These jugs are really easily returned to wherever you purchase them to be cleaned and reused again. You can often find glass jugs too if you prefer to do your own refills at the grocery store or wherever you're doing that. They do cost a little more, but they're also very pretty and can be a very nice addition to your home. And here's a really important one: recycle properly. So check with your regional recycling center to find out what their requirements are, because every community might be a little bit different. If you contaminate a recycling receptacle with the wrong item or a dirty item, often that whole receptacle ends up as waste, as I mentioned earlier. So make sure you clean everything that you recycle, even throw it in the dishwasher if you need to, if it's really dirty. Some common offenders that should never be recycled are pizza boxes and frozen food boxes. So these usually have a waxy coating on them that make them non-recyclable, and if you throw them in with the rest of the recycling, often that whole bin is just going to end up in the trash. Another recycling don't is putting your recyclables in plastic bags. So any recycling that is thrown out in a plastic bag will almost always end up in landfill. So keep in mind that it's probably your job to sort and prepare your recycling. Recycling programs are an expense for cities and regions. It's not a money maker. So when there's no profit to be had, there's no motivation for being thorough. So we all as individuals have to take responsibility for our own part of that process. We're living in a really exciting time for innovation when it comes to reducing waste. So many companies are dedicating resources to reducing waste and creating opportunities for you to do the same in your household. Those companies deserve your business. So spend your dollars on products that are creating positive change, because you know what? It sends a message to all of the manufacturers out there, the big ones and the small ones, that there is a demand for zero waste option and that we want things that have less plastic. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful Earth Day. Feel free to leave a comment and let us know what you do to cultivate a zero waste home. I would love to hear it. And that's all for now. Peace out.